Warning! This episode is a Halloween episode and contains scary movies. As a consequence, this particular episode may not be suitable for kids. Hello everyone. Welcome to this Halloween episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. Halloween is quickly approaching. So this episode will be discussing trick or treat hours in many cities and towns throughout Berkshire County. In addition, I'll be giving a Halloween movie discussion, as many different movies are on screen at home. First, it's time for this episode's trivia question. This episode's question is, what is the most successful horror movie franchise according to Box Office Mojo's website? Now, for this episode's local headlines. As stated at the beginning of the episode, Halloween and trick or treat are happening. It's important to know the hours so you can leave your lights on or to turn them off, and when to avoid traffic. The biggest Halloween in Berkshire County takes place in Pittsfield. On October 27th, they will be hosting their parade at 7 o'clock. Costumes are encouraged, and the parade will start on Tyler Street, weather permitting. As for trick or treat, it is scheduled, as always, on October 31st. This year it will be on a Tuesday, and the time will be from 5 to 7. Remember, lights go on if you plan on doing trick-or-treating, and lights off if you do not. Other local times include North Adams from 5:30 to 7:30, Williamstown from 6 to 7:30, Dalton from 5:30 to 6 p.m., and Lee from 5 to 7 p.m. Visit the website shown here for more information. Our next stop takes us to Massamoka for 2 events. Continuing the theme of Halloween, Massamoka will be hosting a Day of the Dead or Dia de los Muertos celebration. Join Massamoka for an afternoon of joyful celebration in remembrance of friends, pets, and family members past. Create ofrendas, drink cocoa, and dance to the music of Yo Soy Arte. In addition, Sarah Bader will be signing copies of her new book, The Book of Pet Love and Loss, in the RD store. This is scheduled for November 2nd at 5 p.m. The other event happening at Massamoka is a talk with North Adams native and documentary photographer Kevin Bobrisky. In 1998, Bobrisky lived among the Uyghurs in Kashgar. In the just published The Uyghurs, Kashgar Before the Catastrophe, Bobrisky has created an unforgettable portrait of the Uyghurs and the ancient Silk City Road of Kashgar before the Chinese government's decimation of the religion, language, culture, and personal freedom. Today, Uyghurs and the mostly Han government clash over who has greater historical claim to the Xinjiang region. This struggle of native rights has led to the detainment of over 1 million Uyghur people in camps, where they have been subjected to torture, forced labor, religious restrictions, and more. With the intent that through photographs, mutual understanding between people might be fostered, Bobrisky was drawn to the faces of ordinary people and their daily lives. These exquisite portraits and street scenes reveal a haunting beauty and sense of the city's deep past. Bobrisky will be speaking with fellow photographer Holly Linton on his travels and experience. This will be going on November 2nd as well. Visit the website shown here for more information. Next up, we will be visiting the Berkshire Theater Group in Pittsfield. They have 2 shows of interest. First, Berkshire Theater Group will be hosting a production of Copenhagen. This story has been mentioned in the past on WWHEN. Winner of the Tony Award for Best Play, Copenhagen is a gripping and intellectually stimulating play that surrounds the events surrounding a mysterious and fateful meeting between 2 of the most brilliant minds of the 20th century, Niels Bohr and Werner Heisenberg. Niels Bohr is joined by his wife, Marguerite, as they engage in a heated and thought-provoking conversation with Heisenberg. As the conversation unfolds, the characters grapple with their past and present roles in the development of atomic weapons and the potential consequences of their work. Set in Nazi-occupied Denmark during World War II, this play is a fascinating exploration of the ethics of science and the consequences of our actions. Throughout the play, audiences are taken on a thought-provoking journey through the minds of these 2 Nobel laureate physicists who are at the forefront of the development of the atomic bomb. If you saw the movie Oppenheimer in the theaters earlier this summer, this play is of interest. Copenhagen will be running from now until October 29th. Visit berkshiretheatergroup.org to purchase your tickets. The other event going on is Felipe Salas's The New Immigrant Concert Experience. This is a powerful multimedia work inspired by the lives of immigrants. Written by Salas, who immigrated from Brazil to the United States in 1995 and developed with the aid of a John Simon Guggenheim Memorial Foundation Fellowship. The work uses speech cadences and melodic motifs based on key words as its main source of musical material. The compelling and personal stories this work tells were collected through interviews Salas conducted with a group of 9 dreamers during the summer of 2018. It's an emotional musical journey through beautiful orchestral textures carefully developed motifs, and intense solo features that combine the power of a big band recording and the dramatic landscape of a soundtrack. The New Immigrant Experience is the perfect vehicle to contribute to the discussion regarding the place and value of immigrants in America during these turbulent political times. This concert will be taking place on October 21st at 7:30 p.m. The money raised through the concert ticket sales, sponsor donations, and local business ad sales will provide the funding that ensures the local immigrant population can participate in the evening's festivities. Visit the Berkshire Theater Group's website, which I showed earlier, for more information. Our next stop is to the Nam Kyoג Pumpkin Show in Stockbridge. This is a very popular event and fits in nicely with our Halloween episode. According to their website, quote, "The incredible Nam Kyoג Pumpkin Show is back. This year with more pumpkins, more fun, and an expanded schedule. Explore our famous gardens as we transform Nam Kyoג into a celebration of autumn with over 1,500 jack-o'-lanterns, hundreds of mums, pumpkins, and countless gourds, most of which were grown right here at Nam Kyoג. Hot cider and fall treats will be available for sale on site. General parking for the pumpkin show will not be at Nam Kyoג. Parking will be assigned according to the zone indicated on your ticket. Each zone corresponds to a specific parking location. Please read the parking information carefully when you're purchasing your ticket, as you must park and check in at the zone indicated on your ticket information. There will be shuttles to take you to Nam Kyoג. The first shuttle will leave downtown Stockbridge at 5 p.m. and run every 5 to 10 minutes through the run of the show. And the last shuttle will depart no later than 8 p.m., end quote. This will be going through October 29th. Visit the website shown here for more information. Our next stop takes us to Williams College Museum of Art for a new exhibit titled Reingans and Prendergast, Architecture and Animals in Brazilian Artist Marina Reingans' monumental painting Valve are abstracted and indistinct, echoing the haziness of human memory over time. The canvas is unified by a blue wash, signifying water, sky, or both. Reingans cites the work of Maurice Prendergast among her inspirations, which is a significant connection to Williams College Museum of Art, as this has the largest collection of artwork by Maurice Prendergast and his brother Charles, through a request by Charles's wife Eugene. Maurice Prendergast captured scenes at Saint Malo, France, the faceless people in unblended paint, retaining all the essence of leisure with limited definition, as though faded from the mind's eye. One of his works, Antibes, south of France, captures the rooftops of the French town and shares aspects with Valleve's depiction of built environments in Brazil. Charles's Pendergast's hand-carved mirror presents us to ourselves one moment in time, along with Reingant's painted recollection of her rural childhood under the sun in Araguara. This exhibit is open until December. Visit the website shown here for more information. It's now time for a history portion of WWHEN. For this particular episode, we are going to be discussing two neighboring towns, Cheshire and Lanesborough. The first town to be discussed will be Cheshire. Cheshire was first settled in 1766 and officially incorporated in 1793. Its residents were strongly partisan in the election battles of the country's early days. The Adams-Jefferson election of 1800 was fought hard, and Cheshire was the only Berkshire town that favored Thomas Jefferson. When their candidate won the election, the town searched for a way to show their support and pay tribute to their new president. Because Vice President Cheshire, like their namesake, specialized in dairying and making cheese, they decided to send a unique gift to the president: a Cheshire cheese that used curds from every farmer in town. The resulting cheese was 4 feet in diameter, 18 inches thick, and weighed 1,235 pounds. It was moved on a sled drawn by 6 horses when it was shipped off to Washington, D.C. by water, where it drew a personal letter of thanks from President Jefferson. One of the 2 monuments in Cheshire, which is shown here, commemorates the cheese. The other monument in Cheshire memorializes the founders of the town. That is Pioneer Monument, and it is on Stafford Hill, and it's on a fieldstone replica of Benedict Arnold's Norse Mill in Newport, Rhode Island. Cheshire is a small town of only 3,401 people. It is joined with Adams and Savoy to form a regional school district. Cheshire's elementary school is located in Adams at Plunkett Elementary. Cheshire Elementary School was closed in 2017 as part of budget cuts in the school district. Both towns previously sent their middle school students to Adams Memorial Middle School in North Adams. However, following a government grant to renovate and vastly improve the educational facilities at the district's high school, now 6th through 12th grade is held at Hoosick Valley High School. Also, private, parochial, charter, and vocational schools can be found in Adams and North Adams for Cheshire students. Our other town being discussed is Lanesborough. One of the first Berkshire communities to be settled, Lanesborough was originally known as New Framingham, carved from part of northern Berkshire Township No. 6. Lanesborough was first settled in 1753 and was officially incorporated on January 21st, 1765. It was renamed Lanesborough for the Countess of Lanesborough, a friend of Governor Francis Bernard, who incorporated the town. The town grew with small industry in the early 19th century, most of which settled along Town Brook. Berkshire Pleasure Park was a major attraction at the turn of the 20th century. It was one of the trolley parks along what is now Route 8 on the eastern side of town. The most famous resident in Lanesborough was Josh Billings, born Henry Wheeler Shaw. He was a popular humorist in the 19th century, rivaling Mark Twain for popularity at the time. If the name Josh Billings sounds familiar, that's because a race is held after him throughout Berkshire County. Historic sites in Lanesborough include the Old Stone School, an unusual stone one-room schoolhouse built in 1832, donated from funds by Ephraim Bradley, which operated as a school until 1950. The building is currently used as a photography gallery and guest house. Lanesborough was also the former home of the Berkshire Mall for many years. It's now time for this episode's movie portion. As stated at the beginning of this episode, it's Halloween. As a result, many TV channels such as AMC and TNT are putting complete film series on demand. Such films include, but are not limited to, 7 of the original Halloween movies starting in 1978, 6 of the Resident Evil movies, and this one's a reference for my mother, Charlene, who is a huge fan of this franchise, and 4 movies in the Scream franchise. My personal favorite horror movies are those that don't contain gore, guts, or massive amounts of blood. One of the best examples, in my opinion, are the Quiet Place movies. There are 2 of them. In both of these films, an alien invasion has destroyed most of human civilization. What makes these monsters especially scary is that they all rely on sound. The film hints say that the creatures are completely blind and have an extremely heightened sense of hearing. A Quiet Place's heroes are the Abbott family. They live in near complete silence and communicate mostly through sign language. One of the Abbott children is deaf, so they are very used to communicating through sign language, but how can the monsters be defeated? A Quiet Place Part 1 was one of 2018's surprise hits, earning $188 million domestically. A Quiet Place Part 2 was supposed to be released in 2020. Unfortunately, its release date coincided with the exact same weekend that the COVID pandemic became a real-life horror movie. The film was pushed to 2021, where it became the first big success story of the pandemic-era box office. It earned $160 million. What I mean by this is While many movies found ways to be released both in theaters and on streaming, A Quiet Place Part 2 was the first sit-down, movie theater-only success of the pandemic. There are plans for both the third movie and a spin-off, with details still unknown with the actors' strike ongoing. So why do I love this film? A Quiet Place understands perfectly that sometimes the scariest parts of movies aren't the monsters, but the tension within the film. It builds constantly and it relies on silence for its scariest parts. As stated earlier, my favorite types of horror films are the non-gory ones, and this movie is right up there. Despite this, there are some good scares. I saw A Quiet Place Part 2 in a movie theater, which marked the first and last horror movie I'll watch in a theater. Good, scary films like this are better left to watch at home. Another key aspect to this movie is the Abbott family. They are very heroic, helped in no small part due to two things in general: the chemistry of the family and the accurate portrayal of deafness and sign language. The two lead actors, John Krasinski, who also directed both films, and Emily Blunt, are a real-life couple. And the deaf Abbott daughter is portrayed by a deaf actress, Millicent Simmons. Horror movies also provide the answer to this episode's trivia question. As a reminder, this episode's question was, what is the most successful horror movie franchise according to Box Office Mojo's website? The answer is the Conjuring Universe series. The series is only 10 years old, but the 7 films have earned a total of $815 million. This number includes re-releases. This is because most of the movies have done excellent with their budget. All of these movies are produced very inexpensively, making it easier for them to make back their budget. Its highest grossing movie, it's still its first. The 2013 Conjuring film earned the most money. That ends this episode of Wehry Weekly History and Entertainment News. If you would like to watch this or any other WWHN episode again, you can visit Pittsfield TV's and CTSB TV's websites shown here, or visit NBCTC's Facebook page. Also, if you would like to see the episodes in HD quality, make sure to check out my YouTube page at RT Wehry. Thank you.